Evening, ladies and gents. My name's Simon Brown. Joined this evening, as always, with Njabula and Zabandi at the same time. We're sitting on, I think, market trading exercise. We're into, I think this is our fourth one that we have done now. So we're kind of getting into the next, into month number 2. As always, got questions, drop them in the Q&A box, but do put them in the Q&A box rather than the chat, because the chat gets a bit messy at times and I forget to monitor it, etc., etc. So let's have a look at what the history trades look like. And the short answer is horrendous. So we had a bunch of trades that just got closed out. When was closing? 31st, Monday. Bang, bang, bang. A short on Glencore stopped. A long on Bidvest stopped. A long on Dischem stopped. And last week, since we last chatted, we were stopped on our Vodacom and our Discovery. We took a profit. We finally got that closed at 657 profit. Couple of things I want to delve through it. The first one is Discovery, and this is classic. I suppose whataboutism in a sense. The issue is, okay, Discovery stopped. We took our profit at 130, which was target. Should we have let it run? And the cognitive bias here is that I'm a trend / momentum trader. And so, when the trend is running, you want to be in it. That's fundamentally different to breakouts. At this point in the equation, having exited at the 130 and it just took us out, the sell order was in the market. That was the inspired thing to do. That was absolutely the right thing to do. What it does do is it leaves the portfolio looking ugly. Is the short answer. Lots of losers, just the one winner standing out there. So this doesn't concern me in the least. Doesn't massively surprise me either. I mean, I'm only a month into trading equity. I've been an index trader for the last decade and a half. But what it does mean is I'm going to go and delve into these, and it's my homework for this weekend. I was away the weekend just gone, so that was no good. And just to refine. So, the first thing I see is 2 Head and Shoulders, both failed. Maybe my ability with Head and Shoulders was a horror, or maybe it was just, poor choice. I'm going to go and revisit the trades, and that's part of learning and getting smarter in the whole process. I'm new to this equity trading, as many of you. What's working, what isn't working, what can we do better, what can we do worse, that sort of thing. So gonna go delve into that. And I'm looking at things, are we perhaps going against the trend, or were our lines in the wrong place? Or is this just one of those things? It's just a run of trades that are looking bleak. 4 open trades at the moment. One was opened last week, which was Aspen, which was an engulfing candle that is sitting in the money. A short on Barlow World. We'll look at charts in a moment from Monday. And then about an hour ago, a short on Liberty that popped up as well. There's a bunch I want to go through before we have hand over to Njabula. But so we've got a couple of trades that are live. This is our Discovery trade. There was our target. We got out on that green candle. Perfect. Love it. The Vodacom trade, it just never sort of got going. And very quickly we started getting lower highs, lower lows, etc., looking ugly. The Dischem, it was that trade there. There was my break. Everything was looking lacquer, and then it just unraveled itself. Trades we're in. Barlow World, nice parallel horizontal support, has broken it. The little dot there tells you where I'm short from Monday. The Aspen, there's a giant engulfing candle. We shorted at the end of the day. It's gone lower. I have tightened my stop loss. Initially, my stop loss on this trade was above the candle. That was using ATR, and now I'm bringing it halfway through that candle. If we start moving back through that engulfing candle, if we sort of get back into that candle and halfway through it, then this whole thing is off anyway. So with an engulfing candle, you can fairly quickly, when the trade goes in your way, you can adjust that stop. And in fact, I'm going to put it a little more aggressive to that sort of point there, 144. Entry was 140 odd. Because if we're at that point in the equation, we're making higher highs, We're halfway through the engulfing candle. There's no that then nothing then is then happening, which then we'll leave the exit where it is now. The Mediclinic trade has been going for a while. I'm actually quite liking this one. It's currently underwater. Let's look at active trades. What I mean by underwater is that we're $19 down on it. But you can see there's our entry there. We went the short on that. There was the break. There was the short. It's run down. It's sort of moved back to resistance, but didn't even get all the way back to that level. And now it's sort of going lower again. As soon as I get a new low here, which would require a close below that candle's close. So as soon as we get a close 56.80-ish or so, or lower than that, I will move my stop loss to that point there. And bring the stop back up. But that trade I'm quite comfortable with. And as soon as it sort of goes through that down there, and we can see, and first target's 54, longer term targets further down. The other one which I entered today is Liberty. I've been watching this one for an age. You can see that this channel has been running since late March. With one exception where it popped up there, but it closed out in the channel, popped down there, but closed in the channel. So this is basically what you note with Liberty is it hasn't recovered from that collapse. Everything else came down in March. Most other things recovered. Liberty hasn't. So Liberty is looking fairly chunky for a short. It's because it's a short, it's a 1% risk. So my stop loss risk is 256. My take profit is 492. That gives me almost 2 times. I'm going to tweak one of those. So my stop is sitting at that level there. There's my stop, which is quite a nice place. And we'll see how this trade goes. It's been, the longer it sits, the better it is going to be. Netcare was a fun one. So Netcare, again, it's been sitting in this range more or less-ish since mid-May in this channel. We could move the upper, but it broke through the bottom part. But look at that candle. That was the candle when it confirmed its break. That candle there. That is a that's a bullish candle. And I'm not going to go short on a bullish candle. And then we actually have an engulfing candle to the upside, which I'm ignoring. So to my sense, and the reason I'm ignoring it, because I'm just getting conflicting signals here. So I've got a break below and it confirms. You can see it actually kept on breaking and then going back and then breaking and then trying to go back up. What we are seeing is lower lows, which is certainly bearish. But I'm watching to see which way is it absolutely going to go. If it breaks higher, I'll walk away. If it goes lower, I will take it. But although that was technically an entry, my sense is when you enter a trade, you want on your first day, as far as possible, you want the stock to be, so the next day, because I'm entering late in the day, to be in your direction. And we got a massive green candle there. We'll see how it goes. But as I said, we're figuring it as we go along. And one of the things is I'm happy to take the trade, but I want it to at least look like a trade. The one which I am, sort of all in the phrase I use, wind at your back, as much wind as possible at my back. The one I continue to patiently wait for is Coronation. It is going forever and a day. One day that thing is going to break. I don't know which way. It's going to be beautiful when it does. The banks are generally weak, some better than others. Standard Bank is holding up fairly well, although again, it's sort of stuck within the range ever since the March sell-off. ABSA also, again, looking weak. I'm wondering if there's a line there. There might be. First Rand, again, looking weak. Nedbank, again, looking weak. Capitec also in that range. The banks are all trading in a range. At some point, they're going to break. The trick is when they break, they're more or less all going to break together. And I'm not going to go and put my money into 5 banks, which is why really what I'm watching on the bank side is the Capitec. I've got the First Rand there, and I've got the Standard Banks, and we'll see which way it goes. British American Tobacco, this is one I think Njabula brought to our attention last week, trading in the sideways range since sort of mid-July. Nice chunky range. We'll see which way that breaks. If it breaks down, probably around about the 490 level. with our target being within that. And if it breaks up, probably towards the sort of 640 level up there. So break one way, that'll be lacquer. Clicks. I didn't trade this, and I think I mentioned it. Yeah, I would have mentioned it last week. I didn't trade it because I was just trying something here in terms of we've got a very, very short little set of parallel lines there. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 trading days. So call it 2 weeks, which is very, very short. And I was curious to see what would happen when it broke. So it broke down. It's looking nice. Let's see where it goes from there. But it was, I'm looking for longer durations, like that British American tobacco we had a moment ago. Woolies, staying within its range, again, all the way back to the collapse. ShopRite, the big deal here really is the 100 on the downside more than anything else. Which others did I want to quickly pull up? Sabanya, I don't know if that thing counts there. I'm going to watch it and see. Fashini, just going nowhere. Life Healthcare, I'm not convinced by that line, but we've got Mediclinic. I'm watching it. We'll see where it goes. Telkom was another one that I just wasn't sure about, and truthfully missed it broke last week, and you know, what was concerning me about it is that duration. Actually, that duration was a couple of weeks, but it seemed to kind of be in no man's land, and it certainly has broken down. And ultimately, it's a trade we should have taken. It just, yeah. One of the other issues for me was the range was very, very small, and the error I made there is quite simple. It's small in rands, but in percentages, it's actually not too bad at all. What am I looking? And then multi-choice. Multi-choice is actually just bad trading on my behalf. This broke on Friday. I was in the bush, and I literally, when I got my equity broker sent me the market closing SMS, and I had just literally forgotten about the markets coming up into the close. I was enjoying drinks around a pool, and that was just slack on my side. And in an ideal world, I would have got Njabula to pick it up on me, but A, I forgot, and B, he was moving, so that was just a horror. Truers, again, going nowhere, fairly tight range, but it's about 9% overall. It's tradable. It's not going anywhere. Exaro had looked to break up, but is, again, just absolutely stuck in no man's land. And then the Bidvest and the Glencores, which are the two which I traded the Head and Shoulders, and they both just bit me. Neither was happy. Glencore was looking for a downside. Bidvest was looking for upside. Neither was particularly happy. And then what's the other one I wanted to look at? Oh, Aspen. We've touched on Aspen already. So we've got the 4 open trades there at the moment. Aspen, nicely in the profit. We will move that stop loss to the midpoint there. Yep, that's moved. That's looking pretty there. Barlow, relatively new. Liberty, relatively new as well. What you'll note with the Mediclinic, which is now since 19 August, so that's 12/13. Today was the 14th day. My swap is only costing me $2.75. It's not too bad. Of course, it's a short, so it's only a smaller risk component. It's 1% risk rather than my usual 1.8. It's not costing me a lot. What you'll also note is I am short of everything. Everything I have, I'm short of. In a perfect world, I'd like to have a mix of longs and shorts, but the market will give me what the market gives me, and so we will, take it as it says it. Anything else here that I wanted to look at? Now, the key ones were British American Tobacco, first ran both on the Netcare, which we're monitoring. We'll see how that goes, and the clicks, and then the MCG, which I just totally missed. I know a bunch of you have asked for a recording when I do a trade. Yes, that is on the list. It's just the trade I entered today. I need it to happen. Ideally, I want to trade on a Tuesday or Friday afternoon because those are lazy afternoons for me, maybe a Thursday afternoon. And I've been getting trades on Mondays and Wednesdays, and those are crazy afternoons. So it's just more than anything been a case of just not, at this point in time, just not conducive to having to haul out the recording equipment and everything else. Some questions. Craig, Old Mutual, good question. Let's have a look at Old Mutual. Why don't I even have Old Mutual on my list? I keep on missing stocks onto the list. Ah, Old Mutual. So let's see what we have here. Pull me up a horizontal line. Yeah, some action happening there. Make me a duplicate. Some action happening in that sort of zone up there. Cool, Craig, thank you. So I'll add that to the list. If I want to get finicky on this, I should really put that down there, but I'm going to let that one candle. So where to position this horizontal line, and let's be clear, so what I'm doing is I'm going to go back on all the closed trades and see where we had positioned them. Were there better places? Were there nuances to it? You'll also notice I've got a fairly thick line there. It's 3 points thick. I do that intentionally because, truthfully, it doesn't change a heck of a lot, but it makes it a bit skinnier. That just gives me a little more sort of wiggle room in exactly where the line is going. So do I put it there, which respects that candle? Do I move it up a smidgen, which respects those ones and those ones? Yeah. Or do I move it to there? No. I think I'm happy with my line sitting there. It sort of respects that candle sitting there and totally respects those ones there. On the upside, there would probably be my preferred. And the key point with this, one of the things with this sort of process is that in essence, it should, in an ideal world, be a continuation pattern. It's not always going to be, but the break here is the more likely and the more better trade. Truthfully, we will wait and see. Craig, appreciate. I didn't even have Old Mutual on my list. I keep on going through and not being able to find them. Simon, can you discuss the bottom part of the screen and how you set up? Herman, for sure. So the bottom part of the screen, and there are essentially three parts to it. The one is pending. I have no pending. I'll show you what pending is in a moment. The one is active. So order ID is moot. The symbol tells me what I've got, whether I'm long or short. When I opened, quantity opened, price I opened at, and current price. Stop loss and take profit. I don't need to have stop loss or take profit in the system. Neither of those are a requirement, but I put them in. My risk reward. Now, the risk reward is skewed. The Aspen is 5.7, but it wasn't 5.7 when I opened the trade. It's 5.7 now because I've moved the stop in my favor. Commission, there's no commission at the moment from Think Markets, and that's because they've waived it. I think it returns next week. Swap is essentially your cost of overnight because you're essentially loaning money. Dividends, not applicable. Profit or loss and status. So profit or loss is since open to last trade that currently sits. And then on the history side, same sort of stuff. Order ID, symbol, open date and close date, whether it was a buy or sell, quantity, open price, close price, stop loss, take profits, commissions, swaps, and then whether you had a profit or loss. And of course, they are, in that case, all closed trades. As I say that, my internet connection goes unstable. It's back. And you can also pull this, click on a trading report. Let me ask for a monthly trading report. And it did me September, which was not what I wanted. So the trading report is going to give you a report on closed trades. Let me blink that down. So they are the trades that we have entered, etc. Same sort of information it's giving you. It gives you a little more information here in terms of when the trades are closing, when they're opening, etc., etc. It gives you the actual time to the process. What I'm interested in particular is what it's doing is it's telling you longs and shorts. So you can get a sense over time where you are in your win-loss ratio, your longs and your shorts executed, etc. This is closed trades. Closed trades. So it doesn't include your open trades in a point. Mass loss streak is 4, win streak is 1, P&L percentage, average losses, average gains, max loss, max gain. That obviously is just in straight percentage ungeared, max win, max loss, and a drawdown, etc. It's a quick point, drawdown of 6.32%, and that's why I run the 2% rule. If I was doing bigger trades, and we talked about it last week, if I was doing bigger trades, my portfolio would be looking fairly decimated. At this moment, it just looks a little bashful. I can live with bashful. Yeah, so what I mean by going back and revisiting, so it's part of the process, which which I typically do, although I do it less now, certainly in my index trading, just because I've got into a groove and it's working and stuff. But in essence, part of the trading homework is to go and revisit those trades that you did, and not just the losers, the winners as well. And is there a trend? Is there? Do I see that most of my losers are short trades, and therefore, well, maybe I should just stop doing short trades. Or in this case, most of my losers are buy trades. Should I stop doing buy trades? Head and shoulders. Should I stop doing head and shoulders? Now we have a very small pool at the moment: 10 trades, 4 active, 6 history. But it absolutely, it's going to be in time. We will get some more data. Renogen, I doubt Renogen is on here. Nope, no Renogen. No, we've got Renegades, we've got others. Renogen's penny stock, and I suspect that's why we're not seeing. That's my 5 cents in Jabula. If your internet is working lovely, do you want to hop on and see if there's any charts? Do you have, sorry, I should have checked beforehand. I know I gave you access.
I'm not sure if you gave me access.
Give me a sec. Jabula and Zabandi. Make host. Okay, you should be able to do everything now.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I hope no one is going to lose me at this moment. Just a quick catch up on the trades that are on the history tab. Yeah, I've just been decimated all over the place. Starting with the first one, BHP. So I had pulled my stop to about line here to around, what's happening? Yeah, I had pulled my stop to, where did I get closed on? To around the 46 level, somewhere here, and I got stopped on this candle. It looks like I might have been too aggressive on that one, but that happens. And also Impala was definitely probably too aggressive. Was using 2 times ATR. I'll revisit over time as to maybe when I should pull the stop. Maybe it should be less aggressive. I will go stopped out by this candle here.
Ooh,
because I pulled my stop to the 1. And it's been on in my direction since, and that's really, really painful. And then the head and shoulders on Bidvest. Yeah, that just got stopped out.
Yeah, I mean,
immediately.
The Bidvest in Jabula, the Bidvest and the Glencore, my sense, they were, we positioned, they just didn't work. Sometimes trades don't work. I was digging around them and seeing what was what. And we had the stops in the right place. The entries were good. Everything was there. Some trades just aren't happy.
Yeah. Some trades just, it's the nature. I'm still in the Fortuna trade. Looks like it's coming back to retest. It came back to I'm working without a mouse these days. But it's still, I entered here.
Mm-hmm.
And on the break above on this candle, I entered here, so it's still holding. Actually, this line was there. Yeah, it looks like it was retesting and found a nice bullish candle here, which gave me some comfort that we're going to turn back,
So I was digging around the whole retest thing, and because I was thinking, could one just enter on the retest instead of actually on it? And the short answer seems to be no, because it doesn't always retest. It often does. So in other words, when it's retesting, don't stress it. But we can't just wait for the retest.
Yeah. At least when you have the confirmation, the probability of it retesting becomes less.
Yeah.
When they enter on confirmation, because sometimes the retest wouldn't have confirmed, only the retest then confirms. So this is a trade I missed on Barlow. It broke on this candle here. Seemed to have retested the neckline. Yeah, but I missed this trade, so not too keen on entering a trade I missed.
Yeah, so I'm in the Barlow short, and I agree with you. When we miss trades, and truthfully, the Bidvest one we traded, I had missed it, and maybe the lesson from that was, missing a trade is horrid, but walk away.
Yeah, yeah. You don't wanna be finding yourself chasing trades. Yeah, and this is the bet that I'm definitely waiting for on the break, either on the top or on the bottom side. I don't have much in terms of bets this week because I've been moving and yeah.
Right.
Cheers, everyone. We'll go again next week. Cheers.